Hi, my name is Joe of The Joe Show. I'm from Edmonton, and I get to perform in this beautiful city of ours. Yeah, I do magic, comedy, and ventriloquism shows, and I'm able to rub shoulders with some of the most amazing people. Join me in this show as we ask entertainers, puppeteers, professionals, and performers questions about how they got started, why they do what they do. Join us.
This is Nikolai Smith. My name is spelled Nikolai, Nikolai. My last name is Smith, and the standard spelling, it is in fact the second most common name in the world.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. My name's Joe, and welcome back to another episode of Ask Entertainers. Very excited to have you on the show. If you were to summarize what you do,
Wow, I am a juggler, a magician, a variety entertainer, a comedian, a stilt walker. I do a number of costumed characters, including a cute little baby troll. I produce a medieval dinner theater show, which I'm so very proud of. And once in a while, I actually get a chance to relax.
Okay, so if we were to summarize that into one or two words?
Relax.
Relax, okay,
yes,
that makes sense, yeah. Well, I know you do so much stuff, and you've got a vast history. How did you get into performing?
Believe it or not, I was born into a show business family. My dad was a performer, yeah.
Okay, and did your mom perform?
Well, she was a child psychologist, so really there's no excuse for the way I ended up.
Okay, and your dad, what did your dad do in performing?
Acting. He started off in radio.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
They say my dad was I was born just in time for my dad to announce it on the 11 o'clock news.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
That's great.
He was in the waiting room.
Okay.
So he didn't.
Okay.
But I inherited his voice and did nothing with it.
Okay.
My dad has this deep, resonant radio voice.
Okay.
And for me, it's like I inherited an expensive pipe organ and just let my cat run on it.
That's right. Oh, man.
Cannot even hold a tune.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what's the first performance you ever saw? I mean, you've been doing this since you were 6. Do you even remember?
Well, I've been performing professionally, meaning for a living, since I was 6. My first paying gig, I was 6 years old, but the first performance I ever saw was a performance of Hamlet.
Okay.
And I was 6 months old, and I may not have appreciated all the nuance.
All right, okay. Yeah. And you said your first performance, your paid performance, was 6 years old.
Yes.
So what was that?
That was a radio drama, which I got into, through my dad's contacts, realistically.
Okay.
Yeah. But the most fascinating thing about that for me, I really remember, I'm remembering it through a 6-year-old's eyes.
Yeah.
So the whole idea that, I'm going to be broadcast to millions of people was not what was registering for me. What was registering for me was how cool the sound effects table was.
Okay.
I don't know if you've ever seen the old radio dramas. They would have a little tray with gravel on it.
Okay.
And the sound effects guy would put shoes on his hands and go for the footsteps. And then if a door had to open, they had a tiny little door with real hinges and a doorknob, and they go like that.
Wow.
And for me, at 6 years old, that was the coolest thing. All those things, and they all make noise.
Wow. And just being able to, see all that.
They wouldn't let me play with the noise makers.
Did you play with that, eh?
I'm still bitter. I'm just saying.
Oh, yeah.
Still bitter.
Well, I know you've done a lot of performances in your career. What's one of your favorite performances? I mean, obviously that's a huge memory that sticks out. But what's one of your favorite performances?
Favorite performances? I performed in China.
Okay.
For this wonderful crowd of people there.
Wow.
I performed in Mexico City at a really beautiful event celebrating Canada in Mexico.
Really?
And I was super proud to be there, partly because I felt like I was really representing who we are as a country. We've got this amazing circus tradition in this country.
Okay.
Some of the world's best circus artists come from Canada.
Yeah, I think so too. I totally agree. This show is for people that are getting into the arts and maybe people that are performing and things like that too. And
runaway kids. What are you thinking?
That's right.
Become an accountant or a lawyer or something.
Make some money. Yeah, that's right. There's no money in this.
No, I'm kidding. Follow your heart.
So what advice would you give them? Yeah. My performing career took off when I started what? Like, what would you, like, you found that your job, everything started when you did this one thing.
Okay, so I just made the joke about money.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of thinking in terms of performing career taking off, meaning when did you start making money at it?
Yeah, okay.
And I'll tell you, seriously, the answer to that question is you make money as a performer when you start charging what you're worth instead of what the people who call you on the phone say they can afford.
Yes. No, I totally agree.
That is the number one thing I would
Undercharging is like huge in this.
It is.
Yeah, I just think that people all the time do that, don't they? And it's just like, I'm happy I did a show for, X amount of dollars. You're like, what? Like, really?
Right?
Yeah. And then the rest of us are like trying to charge.
Well, it's because the average person doesn't understand that there are hundreds and hundreds of hours of practice that go into each moment on stage.
Right. Yeah.
If I'm juggling knives on stage, all you see is whoop, 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 and that's over with, right? Yeah. But the time it took me to get to the point where I could do that safely, consistently, every time, that's what people are paying for, and it's worth it.
How many pairs of shoes you wore out by trying? Do you juggle with steel-toed boots? Is that part of it? Yeah?
I do not, but I will tell you that I was, the very first time I started juggling knives with a partner, passing knives, right? I said to her, is this a thing you've done before? And she said yes.
Okay.
So I should have followed up.
That's right.
Like how many times?
That's right. Okay. This morning.
All right. But when you're practicing juggling with knives, there's a thing you do where you go up, down, throw to get it in sync. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
So I went up, down, and then my hands are coming up again. Yeah. And you know how you can have something in your memory that's in your short-term memory and you only become conscious of it a split second later?
Yeah.
So on the down, I wasn't conscious of it, but on the way up, I'm realizing I heard a sound.
Oh boy.
And that sound was thwunk, waka 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 waka. So I look at her toes, and there is a knife in this horrifying place where it appears from my angle to have penetrated her foot. And the really terrifying thing from my point of view is that she doesn't seem to know it. And the clubs come up, and she's about to throw me the club. And she realizes it isn't there. And she looks, and it isn't in her hand.
The club or the knife?
The knife.
The knife. Okay.
Sorry, the knife. This is the knife. The knife. She's about to throw me the knife. And the knife, somehow, she's wearing running shoes, and somehow it had gone between her big toe and her second toe, penetrated the shoe, pinned her foot to the floor, and no injury. Absolutely no injury. It was, and to this day, I juggle knives in my show. I will not pass them with another entertainer.
No.
Because she could have missed in a different way.
Yeah, exactly, right?
That's all I'm saying.
Wow, that's crazy. Were there any hurdles you've overcome to perform?
No, I was born being able to juggle.
Okay.
Of course not. Yes, of course. Of course there were. Of course there were. I mean, there were rough times, obviously. And this is a show for aspiring entertainers. And I think they need to know that there will be a long time during which, your day job is how you make a living.
Yeah, exactly.
And there will be a long time. And during that period of time, do not let anybody tell you you should work for exposure.
Yes.
Do not do that.
Yeah.
People die from exposure.
That's right.
There are many parts of the world where... I gotta say, exposure is against the law in many jurisdictions.
That's right. That's right. No, it's true. It's true. Yeah, no, exactly. Like, it's like, you get out there, get your name out there, do free gigs. Yeah. It's...
Okay.
No, I've been there too. I mean, that kind of follows up with what is the worst advice you could give a performer?
I would say the worst advice you can give to a performer is do what other people are doing that seems to be working for them. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think the best advice.
Copycat.
Well, yeah.
It's almost there too, right?
The best advice is find your own voice.
Yeah.
So really, the worst advice is the opposite of the best advice, right?
Yeah. No, exactly. Because a lot of people just want to get out there and just, if I do this trick this way and do the exact same trick, as so and so does it, I'll be famous. And that's
magicians. Magicians are unfortunately prone to that when they first start, because magicians can walk into a magic store and buy a magic trick with all the patter written down, and they memorize somebody else's patter that worked for somebody else's character.
That's right.
Find what there is about you that makes you unique, and don't be afraid to take the things that are your personal experience that come from inside you and put them out there.
Yeah, because you connect with your audience that way.
Yes,
because that's the thing, right? Because a lot of times you're just like this character and you're performing, and there's no connection to your audience. And if you can give them a piece of your life, or piece of who you are, and it shines through that, know your audience gets to know you, and that's what the interaction is, right? That's totally it. Yeah, I think that is great. If you could have a song that would play, if they made a movie of your life, okay, what would the one song be?
Would this song be playing all the way through this hypothetical movie? Is this like a feature-length film, feature-length film, feature-length film? Is this like a feature-length film? And from beginning to end, the audience is just
on a loop,
listening to yakety sax. Right? Just all the way through. Like, is that what's going on?
Yes, right up. I don't know.
With maybe one brief pause for Entrance of the Gladiators, that clown song that you hear on the circus all the time.
All right, that's good. Well, I don't know.
I don't know.
Do you have a favorite song that I should say that would sum up your life? Do it that way.
No, I do not.
You do not. Okay.
I do not.
That's awesome. Okay. All right.
But I don't think I would watch that movie.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Just all the way through yakety sax.
Just hope it's a silent film. You could mute. Yeah. That's right. Actually,
What's that Beatles song with a John Lennon wrote a song which is just the words on an old circus poster. What is that?
I don't know.
For the benefit of Mr. Kite.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. One thing, I mean, I've been blessed to be able to perform alongside you in some events.
I feel the same. Joe, seriously, I feel the same.
Well, that means
You're
a lot
very
because
talented.
honestly, I've only been in this for a short time, maybe five to 6 years, and just learning so much. But being able to see, and the one thing I love that stood out for me, and I got to share this. The one thing that stood out for me is that you go out of your way to help other performers to look their best.
Oh.
And that is an amazing thing. Like, for example, I have a daughter who's learning balloon twisting. Well, she's good at it, right? And we were at this event. I remember she has this long line. You go out of your way. You joined her and helped her finish up her line.
Well, she needed to get home, if I remember correctly. What was going on?
That's right. Yeah.
So what happens with balloon twisters is there's always that one parent at the back of the line who, after you cut off the line,
exactly.
they want to come in afterwards. Oh no, just one more for my
and they've
child.
only got 5, kids, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
Oh, that's right. Your child is special and different from all other children in the world.
Right. Your child is unique, just
Yes,
like everyone
that's
else.
right.
That's right. That's the advice we're having tonight. Yeah. No, but you actually took the time to do that. And even me, you've made sure, hey Joe, you're walking here, and you add jokes, or you point out kids to me. Like, it's not about the attention's all on you. You actually work with the performers, and you get this that if everybody succeeds, it makes the event succeed, which makes the person who hired us that much more better and want to have us back. You know what I mean? Like, we're not in competition.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'll tell you something else for the people watching at home, for the kids who are just starting off in entertainment. The booking agent won't always book the very best act. They will book the very best act to fit into their event. Right?
Oh, wow.
A prima donna
Yeah.
is not what they want.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. That is great advice. That is awesome. You're also one of the best dressed performers. You're snazzy. It's you got that thing. I basically wear this, and the reason why is because I've got a puppet, and I got a 6-foot ostrich. Everybody's looking at the ostrich. They're not looking at me. So I found, I used to do clowning, but I had to give that up because people just wanted to talk to my puppets. But for you, I mean, you've got this costume. Why do you wear what you wear?
I think I want to be the most sophisticated clown in the room.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, well, that's also great too. Is that you don't need makeup to do clowning as well, right?
Oh, okay, so that is true. I was using the word clown in a joking sense there, but it is absolutely true that the art of clowning.
Yeah.
In our society as a whole, I don't think we even have a word for what performers call a clown, because the colloquial word clown has diverged to the point where people hear that word and they think of Stephen King's It. And performers hear that word, and we think of Lucille Ball as Lucille Ricardo.
Exactly.
Or Mr. Bean, Rowan Atkinson playing Mr. Bean.
Yeah.
Those are some of the best clowns around.
Exactly.
I mean, Lucy's no longer with us, of
Yeah,
course,
but I understand.
Rowan Atkinson is.
Exactly.
And
Yeah,
still
for sure.
working.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. No, it's great too. And I mean, he did it all without talking even and stuff too as well. It's amazing.
He's an amazing silent clown.
Yeah. So, if you were to lose everything overnight, what's the first item you would buy to get in your repertoire again?
I would have to get my eyeglasses back so I could find all the other stuff.
All right. Okay, but after that, after that, that's right.
So it's funny, you actually can put together a fairly good circus skills act by walking into a hardware store.
Yeah, I mean, people have lost their luggage all the time.
Yes.
And they go to the dollar store and things, and you get stuff together. I had to do that a few times where I've lost things like I forget a prop at home or something
Yes,
like that, right?
or you're flying to a gig
Yeah.
and you land and the airline has lost your luggage.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to name any particular airlines, Air Canada.
Yeah.
But
Me and my luggage were not united. I just want to say that.
Yes.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll just leave it there. That's right.
I don't know if we're allowed to say that. Tell us something. TV may tell us we're not allowed to do that. They may be one of the sponsors. I'm sorry to the producers. Shouldn't have said that. Okay, but you get these situations where you do temporarily lose everything. I think every performer who's toured for any length of time has been in that situation where some key prop is missing.
Exactly.
And what you have to do is you just have to work with what you've got.
Yeah, and surprisingly, some of my best material sometimes have come out of that last minute, panic where I'm like, what am I going to do, right? Where I forget a puppet or I forget a prop, and I've had to write another 5 or 6 minutes with something else. And I find that it works, and I make it into my act.
So magicians know there's a trick called the professor's nightmare. Which is one of the
three ropes.
3 ropes.
Yeah.
It's one of the first things a magician learns when you're learning to be a magician.
Yeah.
And I've got a 10-minute professor's nightmare routine. Which was born out of desperation in Edinburgh, Scotland. When everything I had got lost, and I had to just walk into a store and oh look, they have rope.
Yeah, that's right.
I guess I'm doing a show with rope.
Yeah, that's right, eh?
So the 10-minute professor's nightmare, and then I did a thumb tie.
Yeah.
Back then I was able to do a contortion.
Handcuffs, whatever.
I did a handcuff escape with. Yes.
That's exactly it. No, for sure. Well, it's necessity is the mother of invention, is what they say.
It is.
It is too. We're gonna ask, what is on your performer's bucket list? So like you have a dream or a goal, something you could do. What's the one thing you'd like to do?
Okay.
In the future, someplace. Yeah.
So, I want to go back to New York.
Okay.
And perform in Carnegie Hall again.
Again.
You
were there
because I performed in Carnegie Hall.
Yeah.
But this time, I want to perform on the big stage instead of in the little cafeteria room.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Because that is actually so technically I performed in Carnegie Hall.
Yeah, so your audience was much smaller.
I don't know if the audience knows this, but the Carnegie Hall in New York, it's archetypally one of the most prestigious venues in New York City.
Yeah.
Well,
the cafe seats, between 5,000 and 5,000 people. So between 5,000 and 5,000. There could have been 7 in the audience, but
I think we had about 150 people in there. It was another one of those diplomat reception things. Great. So
awesome.
It was not performing on the stage in Carnegie Hall. One of these days I'll be on the big stage.
One thing that I wanted to ask is, we got the story where you say, the thing is where you say 2 truths and 1 lie.
You told me about this ahead of time.
Yeah.
I have to come prepared with 2 truths and 1 lie.
3 stories, but one of them is false.
Okay.
All right. And then I get to try to guess.
You have to guess which one it is. All right. So all 3 of these stories are about animals.
Okay.
The animals in question are an elephant, a giraffe, and a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Okay.
So, elephant. I was doing a show once in an area that I thought was just an outdoor stage area.
Yeah.
But I did not realize that the door behind me was the only exit for the elephant enclosure.
Oh.
And the elephant was scheduled to do a walk around of the grounds. So I was performing and a door opened behind me, and before I was aware of it, the audience saw an elephant walk onto the stage. And for about 5 seconds, I did not know what they were looking at. And then I turned around and I said, probably the impromptu line I'm most proud of, which is, I suppose I have to address the elephant in the room.
Nice. I would have said, it's okay, it's just a stage he's going through.
Oh, very nice.
Yes, that's right too. So that is my impromptu line.
All right.
Yeah, you can use that, I'll use yours. That's all good.
All right, that story, elephant.
Yeah, okay, elephant. Okay.
Story number 2.
Yeah.
Giraffe.
Okay.
I was booked to perform.
Oh man. Yeah.
I was booked to perform at the Calgary Zoo.
Okay.
And I they told me they wanted a stilt walker.
Okay.
And I told them that I would do the gig for free if they would let me take a picture of me on my stilts with the giraffe.
Oh,
right?
okay.
So now I have this beautiful picture of me and a baby giraffe. And at that time, the baby giraffe was exactly the same height that I am on my stilts.
No way.
So it's me and the baby giraffe.
Eye to eye.
Eye to eye looking.
Yeah, and they're just going like, what is this?
There we go.
Yeah.
All right, so that's story number 2.
Man, okay.
Okay. Story number 3, Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Tyrannosaurus Rex, okay. I'm guessing he didn't walk up on stage.
The Tyrannosaurus is not real. The real animal in this is a dog, a mastiff.
Okay.
Okay? The Tyrannosaurus is a costume that I wear.
Okay.
I have a costume where I appear to be riding a Tyrannosaurus.
Really?
I have, the Tyrannosaurus is 15 feet to the top of the head when it rears up and when it rears its head up.
Yeah.
It's about 12 feet long from nose to tail.
Okay.
All right. It's enormous.
Yeah.
And I'm a Mountie riding on it because I'm with the Royal Jurassic Mounted Police.
Oh man.
So I was riding along in this thing at a festival.
Yeah.
And walking, obviously. What's really going on is my feet are on the stilts. And a man with a baby carriage and a large dog came around the corner, and I was downwind from them.
Okay.
So from the dog's point of view, he didn't know I wasn't a real Tyrannosaurus. Okay. From the dog's point of view, right? Yeah. Suddenly there's a predatory creature with fangs this long.
That's right. In the middle of the park. Yeah.
In the middle of the park.
And you got to protect the baby.
Right. And he did. That is the beautiful thing about this story is the dog. The ears went down, the tail went down, standard dog fear reaction, hair on the back of the head goes up. The dog takes 2 steps towards me and 1 step to the side and stands in front of the baby. Yeah. And it's, I'm going to die, but the baby's going to live because you're going to have to go through me. It was the bravest thing I've ever seen another animal do.
Wow.
Right? Yeah, it was amazing.
Oh man. Okay. So yes, which is
one of those is true. Sorry, 2 of those are true. 1 is a lie.
Let's see. Let's say the giraffe story, because I think you mentioned how you shouldn't work for free, even if it's a free photo. I would say that you still want to make sure you cover the money and go out there. And I know that you want your value.
You are correct. The giraffe story is the false one. Yes, but honestly, I would have been willing to do the gig for the photo with the giraffe. I made the offer.
Okay.
And what they told me is giraffes are super dangerous.
Yeah.
They look safe, but if you were to stand in the same space as the giraffe would kick you to death.
Oh, okay.
So apparently giraffes, they're wild animals. They've got, even a baby giraffe is as strong as a horse.
Wow.
But is as dangerous as a wild animal.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's great. Okay. Well, I was thinking, I'm doing pretty well here. Okay.
You did. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Yeah, it's great. Thanks. That was tough. That was really tough. I really had to think it through. I want to thank you again too for coming on the show. It has been absolutely phenomenal. What a great opportunity.
My pleasure.
And I'm looking forward to performing alongside you at many more events.
Likewise, Joe.
Yeah, be good too. All right.
Thank you.
Oh, tethered. We're tethered.
There we go.
Hi, today I want to share something very important. This is my thought. Raise your rates, you're worth it. You know, it amazes me how many people brag about, hey, I'm able to do a party for $50 or I got a booking for $75. You know what? You're worth way more than that. The amount of time, energy, resources, advertising, emails, all those things that take place behind the scenes when you're not performing, that should be included in your price. Raise your rates. It's important. You deserve it. People can pay it. And if you do, you're helping the other performers out. It's hard when I get a phone call and somebody says, oh, this magician's willing to do a show for half the price. That doesn't help anybody else. So raise your rates, do a good show, and you'll get paid more, and you don't have to work as hard.